I think that Pierre Poilievre looked very prime ministerial. He spoke well, he spoke firmly and solidly, much more different than what people perceive him to be of that of a very, firebrand politician, like we usually have seen from him in the House of Commons. However, now he's much more refined and his tone is more, of course, prime ministerial, which the media and the mainstream have been accusing him of not being like that, but now he's shown to the Canadian population, not just his own voters, but not just his own base, I mean, but to the whole population of Canada on the debate screen that he can hold himself and compose himself properly like a prime minister. And he delivered his campaign promise policies very solidly, and he got his message across effectively. Mark Carney, I think he was at points a bit hesitant. However, for the most part, he also did well. Did he hit it out of the park? I don't think so. But in this case, it was more of a fine debate style by him. He did take on points from, of course, agreeing with Pierre Poilievre by taking some of his points and policies and trying to make himself as a liberal look more center and different from Justin Trudeau. However, his his background as being the economic advisor was of Justin Trudeau for the past 5 years has been called out by Pierre Poilievre. However, when it was called out, you wouldn't usually see Carney go on the offensive or the attack. And who would you see go on the attack for him? It was Jagmeet Singh. This is insane that one thing that I found absolutely abhorrent and insane in this debate is that Jagmeet Singh, instead of holding himself as a politician for the NDP, for the workers, for the, unions, the social people in this country, socially centered people in this country, he came off as a liberal attack dog. He was defending Carney more than Carney was defending himself when Pierre Poilievre would go and attack. I don't know if Jagmeet Singh knows that there's just like they accused the conservatives of living in the Justin Trudeau era. Jagmeet Singh is still living in the era where he believes attacking the conservatives is going to bring his support up and diminish somehow the conservatives. His biggest threat right now is not the conservatives. His biggest threat is the liberals. The liberals are eating up his share of the voter um, voter segments for the left wing. But what does he do? He attacks the conservatives because he thinks that's going to appeal to the left wing voters in this country. No, there's a reason why NDP voters have flopped and flocked away from the Mr. Jagmeet Singh, and it's because you're not giving them any substantiative policy or any substantiative, vision for this country. You're already in a losing position, and you haven't even made the case for why you should be prime minister. You're just talking as if you're a third party and you're not running for prime minister. Rather, you're running to sit in the House of Commons and be a kingmaker of sorts like you did while in the Justin Trudeau era. So it's not surprising to me to see him go on the attack for Mr. Mark Carney because his job is secured on Mark Carney's prime ministership. If Mark Carney becomes prime minister, if it's going to be a minority government, I can guarantee you that. If he does, and Jagmeet Singh will be there to support him, just like he was with Justin Trudeau. NDP need to get out of this mindset of being the third party here. They were, at one point, the official opposition under Jack Layton. However, things have gone downhill since then. Of course, 2015 was a Justin Trudeau election win because everybody wanted to flock to either the NDP or the Liberals. They chose the Liberals. However, Mr. Tom Mulcair was more of a viable candidate than Justin Trudeau was, in my opinion, and it could have been reasonably assumed so. However, Justin Trudeau won that. But ever since that, ever since then, Tom Mulcair is out. In 2017, Jagmeet Singh's been in. The party has gone down into the drain. And what does he do? He continues to just be a pawn for the Liberal Party, and he honestly, he honestly should just merge with the Liberals if he loves them that much. But it's honestly a horrible thing for these new Democratic voters who were sticking with the party, who believed in the party's message, and then they had this grifter come in and sabotage the party. He doesn't even believe in the values. He drives BMWs. He drives freaking. He buys, I think it was Versace, Louis Vuitton. He buys a lot of expensive things, things you'd see in the millionaire class that he accuses of being the worst of the worst is what he is most a part of and most active in and participating in those trends and uh, habits. It's this is I mean I'm at a loss of words here to explain how horrible Jagmeet Singh performed in this debate. He was always interrupting. He was always just pushing into Poilievre's answers. When Poilievre, he didn't give into it. He kept on answering like a solid answer, but it was really. I just felt like they should have just kicked him out of the debate. They shouldn't even let him participate. The Bloc Québécois looked more reasonable than the NDP in this debate. I feel like this one clip here that I found of Mr. Singh and Blanchette is a good personification of how Jagmeet Singh's debate went.
What I found very troubling is that the past number of years, the Liberal government record is one where we have spent the most subsidies compared to any other country in the G7 on subsidizing oil and gas. These are highly profitable companies.
You voted
I think that's
for
the
it.
wrong thing to do. We fought against it again and again.
No, you voted
and then
for
the
it
Liberals have continued to do it. So my question really to Mr. Carney is, what I
Blanchette of the Bloc Québécois says, "You voted for it, Jagmeet." And he did vote for it. He voted for every single thing that the Liberal Party put through. And he's back into that position of being just being a pawn of the Liberal Party. I would be absolutely furious right now if I were a hardcore NDP supporter. This guy needs to go. He was bringing down the debate in its quality. It was a good debate. Without Jagmeet Singh, it would have been even better. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments down below about how you feel about Jagmeet Singh's incoherent and absolutely abysmal behavior in this debate. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.